hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well on this stupendous day. I don't know what day it is. I'm not even going to pretend to, but you're looking absolutely amazing, by the way. And this video is going to be a little bit of a rant. I'll warn you in advance. It's going to be a bit of a rant. Video 1 earlier, because this is video 2. This is video 1 earlier, was a bit more of a relaxed version, just the aftermath of the court. And I'll probably have some things to talk about in the upcoming days, because other stuff will come out. And the media, the mainstream media, and the likes of Coffin Dodger and co. will come out all guns a-blazing, and no doubt we'll have to rebuff that. But that's what this video is about, right? Because look, the most important people in this community, even on this platform, are you. You guys who watch the content. Without you, there is no us. Okay, so first of all, let me just thank you. If you're watching this video, I thank you. Because you are what's important. You're what makes this channel operate and able to operate and able to help the people that we help. Okay? But what I want you to do is be very, very careful about who you listen to and how you are influenced by them. Like, with respect to the Idaho 4 case, this is my thoughts, just so we're absolutely clear and both on the same page, right? At this moment in time, I do not believe Bryan Kohberger done this crime. I don't believe he did. But could I be wrong? Fuck yeah, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But am I wrong to be in the position I'm in at the moment and believing that he didn't do the crime? I don't think you can say that I'm wrong to believe that. Certainly not after, like yesterday in the court and listening. If you're truly paying attention and you're truly listening to things and watching what is going on and what is being said, you should be in a position right now to not only have doubts about Bryan Kohberger's involvement in this crime, but be a little bit scared about how he is being treated and the way the system is working in this case. They are trying to push someone through the system towards execution while hiding every single element and aspect of this case. 100%. Hide the whole lot. Bury it. And hide behind federal jurisdictions and all sorts of things. But that's what they're doing. So that should be quite scary too, especially if you're a parent and you've got, younger kids, or you're a grandparent to kids, and they're growing up in this society and they're going to college. They're going into these fraternities and, sororities, and they're getting themselves in this environment. Or you live in these kind of places that are rural and, out the way and off the beaten track. Because this has happened. This isn't a game. This isn't some movie that we're watching, even though it fucking feels like it sometimes. This is real life. And I don't understand, and you shouldn't understand, how they can get to a position where they've put someone in prison, in jail, whatever, where he's being held, Latah County, with absolutely no real strong evidence against him. Now, you, as a viewer, have been conditioned to believe that there is a huge strength in specific elements of this case. I was speaking to someone who I have a lot of respect for yesterday, right? And they had turned around and said, I could convict Bryan Kohberger off the DNA evidence alone. And that was scary, hearing that. I could convict Bryan Kohberger off of the DNA evidence alone. That is so scary to think. Because if you take every single other element of this case, the knife sheath is the outlier. It's the part of this puzzle that doesn't belong here at all. It's like this thing here is doing exactly what its job was to do, and that was to, with respect to everything else, looking cagey as fuck. The knife sheath is what pinned Bryan Kohberger to the crime scene. It was the golden goose, the gold platter with a ribbon on it. That orgy of evidence that we've spoken about multiple times. But it's such an outlier that, and these things do not happen like this, that it makes you question it. Now, I still believe that Bryan Kohberger had someone point the finger at him. Someone pointed the finger at him, and what you're seeing here is a mixture of inexperience and confirmation bias. They saw someone, they found themselves a target, and in my opinion, they built a case around him. And that knife sheath could be one element of that is hugely questionable. Was that knife sheath planted? And before anybody turns around and says, stop saying the knife sheath was planted, police will plant evidence. I don't give a fuck what anyone says, what you say, what you think. It happens. It happens. It's as simple as that. And how can you sit there, if you are watching the Karen Reid case, for instance, and believing that Karen Reid could potentially be innocent of that fucking crime, but then in Bryan Kohberger's case, you're ready to nail him to the wall, and you won't listen to the fact that this knife sheath could have been planted. Even if the knife sheath wasn't planted, the knife sheath could well be explained away very easily in terms of that touch DNA. Could have been. They could have just got the results wrong. It's like the results on this drive testing and these analytics that have been received are not correct. There are bits missing. It's no different with DNA. That data could be manipulated. If there was so little of it, there is room for interpretation. And if you get that information and you want to make that fit something, you can do that. You can do it. And it seems to me that that's what this entire case is about. This entire case is about getting pieces, having a person and saying, what can we do with these pieces to make this picture fit this guy? And that is what's happening. And what will happen is the defence will come along and say, right, we've got to change that to this because that's now this. And that, I'm talking about this being his alibi, for instance. That the prosecution were hell-bent on finding out what his alibi were. You can't deny that. Whatever side of the fence you're on, they wanted it, they pushed it. And it would seem that they pushed it because at the point where that was given, they then turn around and say, right, now we've got this, we now can't give you that because we need to look back at this and make sure that that's right. That, again, is indicative of we have a picture and we need to manipulate this picture to fit this scenario. And that's all that's happening all the way along this timeline. Things moving, things changing, things being adapted, things being hidden. But now you're getting people who knows what they're doing, and they do know what they're doing. However you feel about Cy gained a huge amount of respect by basically saying, look, I withhold my right to change my mind later because the evidence could go in favour of the prosecution, could go in favour of the defence. But what I'm seeing so far is all the mistakes that were made manipulates it to better favour the prosecution. But when I factor in what's missing and what I know and do my pieces of work, it then swings the other way. But I don't know how accurate my stuff is because half of the stuff that I'd need to do it properly just ain't here. So I don't even understand how you got to this point. How did you get to this point? And even stating that the machinery that was being used, this huge piece of machinery that at one point shouldn't have even been used. It doesn't make sense it was being used because they apparently knew where Bryan Kohberger was, but they used it anyway. Anyway, that's by and by. But it had gone back in with faults. It weren't working properly. But anyway, watch the creators. Watch the people that you watch and listen to the people that you listen to. Because if they are genuine people at this stage, truly genuine people, this isn't about just appeasing to the masses now. This isn't about people understanding that their audience is sort of anti-Bryan, so I'm going to feed into that and, I'm going to be the person at the helm. This is about what they do to be right and be proper. Now, are they going to acknowledge that what happened yesterday is indicative of things happening that shouldn't be happening, and that there is some explaining to do? There's some things that need to be addressed. Or are they just going to carry on pushing that the issue is with the defence? This is delay tactics, stalling tactics. Bryan did it. The DNA was there. The DNA was there. The car was there. This is just their attempt at, further muddying the waters. Is that the angle they're going to take? Because if they do take that, then I would say you should absolutely 100% banish them from your watch list, because they are full of shit. I'll catch you all in the next one.